Welcome back. I am Simone Henry. This is the Marketing Hub, and I kind of just came up with that in the last video. Today, we're talking with Jarrett Sherman. He will talk to us about building up an audience and turning your audience into one that will into a real community, retaining that community and monetizing that community. So without further ado, Jarrett, introduce yourself and let the people know what you're doing, what this is all about.
Hey, Simone. So happy to be here. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, my name is Jarrett Sherman. I run a company called Superserv, and we specialize in building audiences and communities around entertainment brands, retail brands, TV series, and more creators and talent. And so, I mean, these days, I'm sure people have heard about the creator economy. It's not just for YouTubers anymore. It's really an ability to, if you're going to put anything out online, if you're going to go to any trouble of building an audience around your brand or yourself or whatever, like we were just saying, you go all the way and you build it up into a community of people who love you, who are fans of whatever it is you're doing, or their clients or customers. It's a great differentiator to have a community around you than sort of your competitors who probably don't.
So let me take it back to my past life. And anybody who's watching this channel will see that I have old videos out there where I was talking specifically to gospel artists. That's the niche that I was working with before I came out of it. Well, I think one of the things that I ran into was artists wanted to be on the radio. They wanted to get the awards. And for a lot of them, for what I see on Facebook, they still do. And they want the streams of their music, and they want people to buy their CDs and their albums and different things like that. So you were saying how, well, if you're going to get people to buy your stuff, well, should they go further on and try and corral these people into a community? Like, what's the benefit of that?
Well, first off, if you want people to buy your music, that's a one-way relationship, right? You're promoting it, you're saying, buy my stuff. And if you let the relationship end there, you're leaving so much on the table. So, music artists, gospel artists, TV series, anybody who has sort of like a base around them, it's really, let's just sort of stick to music artists for a minute, because that we can stay with fandom. We're talking about fans in that sense. It also applies to clients and customers of brands and businesses, but let's just stick with fans for a sec. If you need an audience for your TV show or your performances, or to buy your stuff, you are already in a vertical where the opportunity to extend that into a community means you can have an ongoing relationship rather than just buy my record and we're done. If you're somebody who's an artist or a performer or something like that, and you have fans who sort of are into you, there's a power dynamic there that is valuable to you, and that you should these days, and a lot of people are capitalizing on. And I don't mean purely monetization, but I just mean, I think we talked about this before we started recording. If you have fans and you feed your fans, they will keep you in business. If you don't feed your fans, they'll go hungry and they're going to move on. They'll go elsewhere, because everything is a click away from everything else right now. Right. So if people are engaged in what you do and they like you, then it's really smart business to turn around and embrace them. Because if you can build up a core following, that core following will buy your tickets, they'll buy your albums, they'll buy your merch. If you have no relationship with them, there's no investment on their part other than, oh, I like the music. Maybe I won't like the second album. But if you have a relationship with them where you're talking to them, you're engaging with them, maybe you're sharing demos with them, you're letting them in on your process, you're building a relationship with them that goes deeper than just buy my record. It now goes into, we're members of a community around this shared experience of my music or my message or whatever it is. That opens up all kinds of opportunities for expanding your brand, for monetization, like we talked about, and you can monetize through, there's a million ways to monetize, but you can monetize through, I like to say, products, services, and experiences, especially if you're an artist. And if you're an artist that has fans, typically what the fans want is more of you. They want access to you, to your music, to behind the scenes. They want to feel like privileged insiders. They want to be part of the thing. They want to feel like they're inside as opposed to outside looking in. So as an artist, it's really easy to do, to embrace them, to bring them inside and give them sort of special access. It doesn't cost you anything as an artist. It just costs you some of your time. But you don't have to lavish money on your community to make them feel like they're part of a community. You really just have to grant them access to you.
Right.
And
And
part
as
two
a
is,
matter of fact,
go
you
ahead.
can monetize that access. The more access you give and the bigger, the better experience you give to them and you offer them, the more you can charge for it.
Well, you're right. We're getting into so now we're getting into sort of loyalty and reward territory, which to me is like fan club sort of situation, which is really popular. Like the whole Web3 thing and NFTs and all that whole space. That technology was kind of, it was what it was for the collectors, back in the day when they were flipping JPEGs back and forth. But that technology right now is being used to power fan club experiences that, I buy my ticket in and maybe I've got tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3. I've got different levels of access and access to exclusivity, exclusive content, exclusive, time spent with me, the artist. So yes, you're right. You can monetize those that access in the context of a loyalty, like a fan club or loyalty and reward program.
Yeah.
And depending on who, there's a band called Avenged Sevenfold that has a Web3 powered fan club. And I think it's really sort of keeping them in business. I think they're doing really well with it. And it's the same sort of thing. Like if you're a member of the fan club, you get advanced purchases on tickets and special access at the show and your own lineup to get in, like all that kind of stuff that makes you feel special and privileged and valued.
Mhm.
So those things don't have to cost money. They just are about good planning and being thoughtful. And that's powerful. It's really powerful
Yeah.
because what a lot of people in entertainment don't realize is they are viewed as sort of glossy and, celebrity and that whole thing. And most people aren't in entertainment. Most people are civilians who look at that stuff with a little bit of awe still. There's a little bit of wonder and awe. And so getting the chance to get close to it, especially if it's someone who I'm a fan of, is thrilling for people. It's exciting to be acknowledged by someone I'm a fan of. So even just something as simple as shouting someone out in the comments and saying, "Oh, Simone, I liked your comment. Thank you." If you're the artist and I'm the fan and you mention me by name, I'm probably going to kind of lose my mind with excitement that you just acknowledged me. That, as an artist, that doesn't cost you any money.
So true. So true. And I know for me, it's been that way for me. Every so often, where was I? I commented on this post for Doctor Who, and I don't even really watch Doctor Who. I watched like because I one actor that I like was on it for a little while. So I watched all of those shows. And it came up in my feed and saying, "Oh, someone this person is coming back." And I posted, "Hey, if this person comes back too, I'll watch it." And they commented back for me, "Thank you, we'll consider it or whatever." And I was thinking, wow, they actually commented back and like
Yeah.
they considered my opinion or whatever. And I
That's
thought it was pretty cool.
That's great fan engagement. And the truth is, when you're doing that kind of work, that when you're sort of engaging with your fans and building your community, you're sort of future-proofing your brand. Because if you build up that community, you have that direct relationship with that community now. Like there is no intermediary, there's no record label or a broadcaster or anything like that. You actually have that relationship, you own that relationship. No one can take that away from you. And that is a direct line to people to promote to people to sell to, to people to engage to help them spread your brand out to their networks to do that marketing. So there's a lot of reasons for having building a community around yourself if you're a performer or a TV show or what have you. It's valuable, and in this day and age that we're living in right now, where there's unbelievable competition for people's attention. Like I said, everything's a click away from everything else, and they all want you to spend time with them, and they all want your attention, and they want your money. Having that relationship where your fans feel valued by you and engaged by you is future-proofing. It means they're going to come back. It means they're sort of in your community, and that's good for business.
What's really cool is that you say that you know how to turn fans and followers into evangelists who will promote your brand without you even asking them to do it. As a Christian, I study the Bible, and there's this verse that says, "Ask and ye shall receive." So I've been a fan of that forever. Like, how do you get people to do this without even asking them to?
Well, that's the whole basis of Superserv. Superserv is about super serving fans, treating them better than they would ever expect, communicating with them, making them feel valued and listened to, and celebrated. Like, that's the whole shouting them out, celebrating what they contribute to the community. I really like to lean on surprise and delight. I think that's missing often in the world today. And I think it's a very easy thing to brighten someone's day by surprising them with something, whether it's a comment that calls them out, or whether it's a t-shirt for commenting, or a free ticket because we liked what you submitted to the contest, or whatever it is. Surprising people for doing things and rewarding them is powerful, and it gets people excited, and it tends to have the effect of, the whole Superserv thing is, we want to treat people so well that they can't help but tell other people. They're just so excited, and it's a novelty how well they've been treated, that they can't help but start telling other people. And we just saw it happen with a client that we were working with on the TV side, using these sort of tactics. They just started, "Have you seen this show?" It's out to their networks. This show's amazing. They're so nice to us. And we didn't ask them to do that. They received the t-shirt in the mail and put it on and took pictures of themselves and posted it to their story, and started to make posts about, telling people they should watch the show and why it's so great. Very easy to do. And I'm still amazed every day that sort of treatment is still a novelty when it comes to audience building, community building, even just using social for two-way communication. Like, instead of, typically people make the mistake of using their socials to blast out a promo message or a series of promo messages. There's nothing to engage with a promo message. So if I'm seeing that message, unless I'm a fan that's really good news that I want to know what's happening, there's no engagement in that. There's no reason to come back. There's nothing to hook into. But when you start to ask people questions and then comment on their responses and have a conversation with them, that's a whole other experience. And I think, frankly, that's what social media is good for. I think there's too many promo messages being blasted at people all day long, that, two-way conversation is a novelty, and it shouldn't be, but it is.
That's really interesting you say that. I have this promotion in mind that I want to do, but before I started promoting, I asked a question in a couple of Facebook groups, and the response I got was just truly amazing. Just and as I'm answering people and responding to them, they're answering back, and we're having conversations, and now I'm connecting with people. Now I have new Facebook friends. Now I have new people on my mailing list, all because I stopped to have a conversation with them rather than just blast out a promotion to people who are being promoted to constantly and don't want to hear another ad,
Right.
essentially. But I do like I do like what you said about, surprise, delight, and wow. That's actually a a part of what I do in my holistic marketing plan for clients. You know, when people think of marketing, for the most part, they think of those promotions. You put out promotions, you run ads, you know, do your SEO, you know, tighten up your branding and all of that stuff. But they don't think about what happens, like how do you nurture people? How do you convert them? How do you make that onboarding process easy for them? And then how do you serve them to such a degree that they become super fans, you know, and to the point where they love you so much that they are basically advocates for you, your brand, and your business. So that's one of the things that I've been working on with my prospects and clients. It's pretty awesome.
So much of it just is about connecting with people on a human level, which again, it seems like, you know, we're in a mad dash to automate everything and make it all streamlined. And what people seek is human connection. So if you can offer that, especially in the context of you know, the relationship dynamic of I'm a fan and you're the artist that I revere, then you have the power to create some real surprise and delight and some human connection. And it's very easy to do, especially when people are enthralled with you. I mean, it's very easy to do. And again, it doesn't cost money. It's just about wanting to connect with people. And I work with clients who want to build up these kinds of relationships, but aren't actually interested in posting themselves. And they hire us as a team to sort of, I mean, it's very common. It's a common thing. We take on the voice of the whoever it is and respond like them and create those relations. We're still trying to create those real sort of connected relationships. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that people are still connecting with the brand, the personality that they adore. Oftentimes, it's clear that it's not the person that we're sort of the social team, and you know you're just engaging with the accounts, not the person. But I think that it's just as powerful. The official accounts, you know, we were the official accounts of a TV series years ago called Winona Earp, which was on Sci-Fi Network and had a rabid fan base. It was like a cult hit kind of show, very cool audience. And they knew they weren't talking to the creators or, you know, they were just talking to the official accounts. But we had somebody in the air chair who spoke their language, knew all the references, all the little details and nuances that were being thrown at that person and could throw them right back. And the audience loved it. And it was a real success. So being able to, I think, just on that piece alone, just sort of like what people call the community manager, which is a term I hate, by the way. I don't call them community managers. I call them engagement specialists because I don't believe you build community by managing people. You build a community by engaging with people. And I know it's a small detail, but when you hire someone to that role, if they think they're there to manage community, they're going to come at it one way. If they think they're there to engage the community, they're going to come at it a different way.
Mhm.
So I think it's really important to do. Um, and yeah, it's just about being smart. And so the point I was going to make was that I like to cast that person as if I'm casting a role in a TV show, because every brand, every artist, every talent, whatever it is, has its own language and its own genre, and people will relate to it a particular way with nuances or references to other things. So I want whoever's sort of being the moderator as that engagement specialist to be able to speak that language and know those references so that when somebody makes mention of this weird offhand thing, the person who's going to respond from our side knows what that reference is and understands completely. And I think that makes them very relatable to the audience. And it's powerful. People love that.
That's fantastic. So tell me about the kind of clients you work with. So we talked about musicians. Do you work with speakers, authors, just your everyday influencer? Who is your ideal client?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I come from entertainment, so I've worked for the last 20 years on TV and film projects often. Um, Sometimes talent, and more we're getting more into this creator space, influencers, creators, talent, that sort of thing. People who have a personal brand, whatever it may be, and have content to offer the world and want to build up a community around themselves and then eventually monetize. I like those kind of clients. I like those kind of situations because I think there's no rule book. It's about who this person is and what their sort of flywheel is, what the content that they put out is, what platforms they're on, who their audience is. So it's less corporate than a TV show, which are usually sort of part of a broadcast entity, which is corporate. And those are fun, and there's a big megaphone there, and you have the ability to attract a big audience. So I like those too, but I really like working with creators and influencers and talent who are trying to do this as a thing they want to build around themselves. I think that's very gratifying.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So how do we find you out there on the internet so we can get started?
You can find me at superserv.me, superserv me. Or you can find me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/superserv. And I mean, if you have a question, if you have an interest, if you have an audience to build around yourself, we can help. We do discoverability strategy, which is sort of the front door to all of this, how your audience is going to become aware you're there and come find you. All the way through to community building, content strategy, engagement strategy, monetization strategy, loyalty and rewards. So the full sort of life cycle. And we do strategies. We build strategies. That's sort of where we started, was building strategy. And now we do execution as well. So we have great teams, and I do that sort of casting of the engagement specialist depending on who you are and what your brand is all about and what your audience is all about. And then we find somebody who can actually speak to your audience as an insider of the brand.
That's awesome. So this doesn't sound like something that you could do with AI. Is that right?
Well, I mean, AI is great as in what I do. I like AI for, being a thought starter, to help a brainstorm go, or to make lists of things that we can draw from. But AI doesn't write the content. AI is certainly not the one sort of engaging with people. AI may help with editing video or something like that. But no, we don't really rely on AI too much, because I'll use it as a thought starter, creative starter, but we're all about sort of the human touch and the real relationships with people and getting to know people. Like I want to know that, when I see Simone comment and I have a little chat with her, and then Simone comes back tomorrow, I know Simone, and I can say, hey, Simone, how's your grandmother? You mentioned she was sick yesterday, or, whatever. That stuff matters. It seems so nothing, but people appreciate being remembered and being recognized, and thoughtful communication with them, and being valued. It's really about valuing people. So AI doesn't really do that very well.
That is true. I am one of those people who like automation, but I always tell people, let the computer do what the computer can do, and let the humans do what only humans can do, and only humans can connect with other humans.
Right.
So, thank you so much for being here, Jarrett.
Thank you for having me.
Are interested in having a more engaged and loved on community, and you want to grow it and monetize it, visit Jarrett at superserv.me. The link will be in the description, and I'll also put his LinkedIn link there as well. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you, Jarrett, for all your insights. These are great insights, and definitely something that we can all learn from. This is customer centric stuff, folks, right? It's not about us, it's about the people that we're serving. So share this out to your family, your friends, and other people who need to understand, people who have audiences, who want to make sure that they are a community, and that they are engaged very well. And subscribe to this channel, like the video, and comment your biggest takeaway. What's happening with your community? Do you have any questions for Jarrett? Put them in the comments below, and we will see you again next time.